media reportage on customers' protest in Ghana. Hence, tabled a bogus claim that they have been defrauded by another Ghanaian company, Just Gold Company Limited, with frivolous claims of the Just Gold Limited having associations with our company, which is very false. The subsequent action by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, (EOCO), to freeze Menzgold and my personal asset further hardened the resolve of some of our debtors who thought Menzgold was a thing of the past. Following my graceful acquittal and discharge in the Dubai Superior Court, the need arose for me to return to Ghana immediately on the call of the Interpol Red Notice to answer criminal charges on the same customer's debt portfolio before the Ghanaian court, the very reason why I went to Dubai in the first place. A call that restrained me from laying claims to the funds I went to the UAE to recoup. All companies worldwide have liabilities in its books, and so do Menzgold. Business in summary is all about owing and being owed. We at Menzgold are committed and do express our willingness to service our debt portfolios to our customers and business associates as soon as we can with a given opportunity. We respectfully pray the Ghanaian authorities to cooperate with us to achieve the following. Number one, to assist us make full recovery of the amount owed Menzgold by Horizon Wire Diamond in Dubai. As an act of good faith, we are willing to engage the Attorney General's office on the best possible way for them to aid Menzgold by employing international law and diplomatic relations to ensure we achieve this objective. Two, to unfreeze our companies and my personal bank account and asset for us to utilize these as vehicles to get productive in order to meet our liabilities owed to our customers and some business associates in our bid to resolve our liabilities immediately. As of now, Blue Marketing Consult, Menzgold and I cannot credit or debit any bank account in Ghana. This is why it is highly imperative to consider this kind request, as I believe government shares in our resolve and will do all that which is needful in our quest to satisfy the populace who are our customers. 3, to clearly give direction as to which government agent or agency has jurisdiction to regulate the activity of gold, collectible or jewelry trade in Ghana, just so we can apply for the necessary certifications in order to proceed with our business in a fair and sound manner. As we have publicly demonstrated, we are open to fair supervision and are opposed to no supervision, misconceived supervision, or supervision with malicious intent, respectfully. The founders of PayPal, Elon Musk and Co., set out to create a new internet currency to replace the US dollar. Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg's first product was designed to get his classmates signed up, not the Earth's population. Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp's Uber started only to supplement the taxi fleet in San Francisco. Brian Chesky, Joe and Nathan started Airbed and Breakfast as a means to rent out an unused space in their abode to get income to supplement a deficit for a pending event. Ivan Spiegel, Bobby and Reggie started what came to be known today as Snapchat, as sending naughty, disappearing fan photos when they were all students at Stanford University. America's media called it Sexting App. Jeff Bezos started Amazon as a digital bookstore in a garage. Was heckled by the big players in the book retailing business. Jack Ma fought through and achieved Alibaba in China, and the list goes on. All of these innovative breakthroughs had regulatory questions, suffered bad press. Uber and Airbed and Breakfast particularly have suffered global protests. Travis Kalanick, founder and first CEO of Uber, especially, fought many regulatory and legal battles. Today, these great innovative companies are pillars of the great Silicon Valley, receiving global tribute for the United States of America. These are just symptoms of disruptive business ideas. Menzgold is today characterized by its same trait, and I have no doubt in my mind that our company is on the path to greatness and global prominence. If these three propositions are reviewed and considered, we shall confidently proceed to make the necessary arrangements to start paying our customers immediately under my watch. This I say with my personal guarantee. While my detention in Dubai was harrowing, daunting, terrific, and horrific experience, I am grateful to God because I feel very refined. It has made me older than my age as we grow in our experiences and not in years. I am fulfilled and ready for greater exploits. Highly motivated to add up to our previous gain. I am happy about the disruption, a key trait about a successful business prospect in this information age is the ability to scale. As Mario Andretti, a champion car racer, rightly put it, if everything is under control, you are just not going fast enough. Xylophone Media is an entertainment business. It's an entertainment media business. We are a media and art technology company. Our competitors are not in Ghana. They are far away in the Silicon Valley, California. To you, I say, ants that unite can beat an elephant. Admittedly, we have made some pretty good losses. Yes, we are happy about our losses having been a disruptive arts and media business. We wear our loss as a badge of honor. Our loss depicts our grand ambition. By natural law, you have to go through a thunderstorm to see the rainbow. Our eyes are still set on a colorful rainbow. We shall succeed. Blue Marketing Consult Company Limited is a marketing company, a commodity broker of a sort which works for commissions by merchants selling and buying leads. I encourage companies worldwide with marketing needs in Ghana and Africa to take advantage of Blue Marketing's great professional marketing prowess, as the company did for Menzgold, resulting in Menzgold's mighty growth. To the staff body of all our companies, I couldn't have been more proud of you for is not an entitlement, but something we earned by the way we worked with you diligently over the past years. I can assure you that it will pay off favorably soon. Together, we are very conscious of our responsibilities towards you, our church, esteemed customers, and we will do everything we can to individually and collectively meet your expectations. To the government of Ghana, we applaud you for not sparing the rod and spoiling the child. We've got your message. We've grown and are ready to accept and take up responsibility, if any. I want to reiterate that I do not seek political office or power. My goal towards contributing for the good of Ghana and Africa is missionary and not mercenary. Clearly, my willingness to be misunderstood is the basis of our many criticisms and the exercise of brute force and skewed media reportage witnessed against our outputs in the last 12 months. I am an entrepreneur and I remain as such. Last but not the least, to the many Ghanaian and African youths, as well as the agents who believe in me and the Nam mission, we shall continue to contribute to those in authority for creation of the new Ghana and the new Africa for the new Ghanaian and the new African, and the new African socio-economic front. I am well aware that many of you crave African prosperity. So do I. To you all I ask, the Egyptian who conceived the idea of the pyramid and actually built it was an African, had same natural abilities we have with less access to information than we do today, yet succeeded in building not just one pyramid, but 3 or more. So then I ask, which African today will build the next Egyptian pyramid? Ghana shall prosper. Africa will be great again. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time. God bless you.
Well, the moment a lot of us have been waiting for, Nana Mensah has spoken, and we've been listening keenly to him, and we've just put down a few points. He spoke about media reportage. He doesn't seem too happy about that, but we'll get to that later. But he's been thanking customers and clients, and also admits that, yes, they've made some losses.
Absolutely. And let's say from the outset, Bernice, that this was a carefully crafted statement that he presented. And I would imagine that he would have rehearsed this over and over again. If he hits all the right notes, it's of course because this was a carefully crafted statement to achieve a number of things. First of all, it is to not get onto that same antagonistic tangent that he went with the regulator. So you hear him say, look, I thank the government for not sparing the rod and spoiling the child. Why is he thanking government? He says, we are not averse to regulations. Again, this is the same Nana Mensah who used to send very arrogant tweets telling the Bank of Ghana that they didn't know what they are about. Today, he's sounding a conciliatory tone. Clearly, you can see why he is doing this, because he recognizes that the fights that some of which he initiated are unproductive, will yield no result, and at this point, he needs all the backing that he can get from all of these same institutions that he dismissed with a whim. So you can see clearly, he's thanking the government, telling the regulator that he is available, that they are willing to submit to any or all forms of regulations, but he wants the state to mention or clarify which particular state institution has responsibility to regulate the gold collectibles business that his company is engaged in. And of course, how can he forget the loyal customers? Earlier you were talking about how the customers appear to have backed him. And I remember in the aftermath of all of the back and forth with Securities and Exchanges Commission that eventually led to the closure of Menzgold business and his arrest in Dubai, the customers repeatedly backed him in spite of everything. Don't forget, the majority of these customers have put in a lot of money, and yet they clearly backed him. It is for that reason that he doffed his hat for them, telling them that if the state does 3 things, and I'll be going into those 3 things, he can resume the payment of dividends and principal sums to these investors immediately.
And this, for me, seems to put a lot of pressure on the state then, because in the minds of the customers, it may be that, well, left to the state, I will do this and that.
Absolutely, which is what I'm talking about, a crafty statement. The state, unfortunately for him, has no obligation to help him. The state may only do it because he's a Ghanaian citizen and there are citizens who have invested in his company. And to that extent only, the state may get involved. One of the first things he wants the state to help him do is to recover some amount of money locked up in a Dubai company, about 49 million. He puts the sum at 750,000 kilograms of gold. 750 kilograms of gold that they gave to this company, and the company didn't pay. He says that the company only brought these fictitious claims of fraud against him because the company had a mistaken belief that his company Menzgold was going down.
And let's go back quickly to that press briefing. Some pressmen are asking questions. We'd like to hear Nana Appiah-Mensah's response to those.
Do you feel about that? And then secondly, when exactly are you going to pay the people? Because as you said, if they don't pay, if government doesn't help you or the Dubai people don't pay, it means the people are not going to get their monies back.
Online is my name. I work for Media General. You have made 3 propositions to the state that if these conditions are met, that's when you will be able to pay the customers that you owe. One, I want to find out from you, the state says that you owe about 1.6 billion or so, thereabout. Let's hear from you. How many customers do you owe, and in terms of money, how much do you owe them? And do you ascribe to the suggestion by the Ministry of Finance that some of your customers were greedy?
Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for your queries. Okay. Mr. Obemenu of Peace FM, right? Yes, I will take yours first. So your first question was, how did I escape how did I escape to Dubai? Okay, it would interest you and everybody, all and sundry here, to note that I did not escape from Ghana to Dubai. I went to Dubai. I didn't even go to Dubai first. I went overseas. So I went to certain places in Africa, all in the pursuit of debt recovery, company assets, Menzgold assets. And then I went from there to Europe, and then I went to Asia. And I did not escape. And also, I would want to put it on record that I, Nana Appiah-Mensah, did not jump bail. Okay? First of all, the Yoko invitation and, let's say, the bill, the self-recognizance bill that was granted me, did not have, it wasn't tied to a travel ban. Okay? It wasn't tied to a travel ban. Number 2, the day before I would depart, I don't want to commit anybody to anything, but the day before I would depart, I informed the Yoko. As a matter of fact, we can check Yoko's record. Okay, I signed in at their front desk. I visited Yoko the day before I departed our jurisdiction. So I did not escape Ghana to Dubai or any, where in the world. So I'll leave it at that. Then your second question was, if the propositions that we have tabled are not met, does it mean that our customers will languish in, poverty or hardship, till eternity? It is no, okay? Because I believe, I don't want to, but I believe that government shares in our resolve to ensure that every single customer gets paid. This, I'm sure they do. Nobody has told me, but I'm sure they do, because this is a very responsible government who are committed, to discharge their welfare obligation to the good people of Ghana under the social contract signed with them, proud to their coming to office. So I'm very confident in this government that they would, they share in our resolve to ensure that every customer gets paid under their welfare, obligation or duty towards the people of Ghana. And so they would listen, consider, and probably, grant it. However, on the flip side, we have a difficulty because as it stands right now, I'm sure we all know it is no news that I'm before the court, the Ghanaian court, answering criminal charges. Among the charges is a money laundering charge. And so therefore, it's important that if I have money anywhere, and I said I'm using F, economic, if I have money anywhere, I would have to come through the system. Okay, and when I say system, I mean through the central bank. You have to come via bank wire through the central bank, and then central bank will look at it and then send it to the local bank, and then we can draw by check, and then we can make payment. If anything less than that, would give credence to the money laundering allegation, which I am contesting or refuting, before the honorable court. And so therefore, it is highly imperative that government looks at this, and in the interest of the populace, in our country, and this.
Menzgold CEO Nana Mensah. Before we took you back there after his main presentation, we were discussing some issues that he wanted government to address on behalf of Menzgold. We'll come back shortly. Malik, Dabo and I are here. But let's take you back to that press briefing.
Is fixed on the ball, and I'm determined to kick it into the net. So that is where, my focus is right now. So it's all right. Then the second question was, when exactly are we going to pay the people? So I think this is tied to the issue of unfreezing the bank account and the asset. We cannot make any payment as to our business associates or our customers. Like when our assets and then the bank account especially, I'm not even too worried about the asset, but the bank account especially, if it's still frozen, then we have a difficulty. So we are praying humbly, we are lying prostrate, and then if you like, we're on our knees. They should look at it, respectfully, and take a decision on it. So when the account is opened, we would immediately make arrangement, just as I indicated in my speech. We would immediately make arrangement, and then that would include meeting the customers' leadership, broad consultation, coming up with a feasible or realistic schedule, and then once we have consensus, we would communicate. So this is what we have, this is what we're planning. Kwabena, right? Of TV3. Your question was, how many customers do we owe and how many customers are involved? Respectfully, I would, because we are before a court of law and these are issues of fact. Now the court, the prosecutions, which is the police, they are alleging a certain figure. We are contesting that figure, and we do not have to arm them, so with respect, I would want to decline comment on this. But in due course, when it is time for us to, make payment, I'm sure with the customer's consent, because this also borders on privacy. So I'm sure with the customer's consent, if we need to publish it in the dailies, why not? We will not hesitate at all. We will do that. Then the last one, do you ascribe to the school of thought, that things that the customers were greedy? I do not. And I'll just leave it at that. I do not. They weren't greedy at all. They were not greedy. So I do not ascribe to that thought. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And please, kindly keep your questions precise and straight to the point. Boss, yes, then please come. Then Favor. Then one print. Let me get one print. I have radio, I have TV. Print from where? Searchlight. Okay, please come here and answer because of camera. One at a time. Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Favor Nuno. I work for the BBC. Favor Nuno.
Yes. Favor Nuno, BBC.
So what we know is that most of your clients have connected the monies that you're expecting from Dubai to the fact that they may get their investments back. Now the question is that when are you expecting to be able to retrieve these finances from Dubai and to be able to pay your customers? The court in Dubai established timelines for you to be able to retrieve these monies, or it is open to negotiations with this company. You do mention that you expect that government should be able to support you with international lawyers to go after this. So the question is, when are you able to get this money in your accounts to be able to settle your customers?
Thank you. Next person, please.
All right, my name is Nam1 Menzgold, Xylophone FM and 5 Sin 5. I've got 2 in 1 questions. The first one, is Menzgold a Ponzi scheme? The second one, Securities and Exchange Commission gave you a directive to shut down the gold vault and pay your customers. Why did you shut down the gold vault and not pay the customers? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mensah.
Your name?
My name is Nanapoku from Daily Searchlight, Nanapoku. I think the brouhaha about what is happening now is about licensing. Now you have made it emphatically clear that you have acquired all the legal documents pertaining to your business. Can you share a copy or copies to the press or to the Ghanaian populace or to the world that indeed you have all the legal documents that you are working with? And my second question, please, I beg your pardon. The man in Dubai, I don't know the name, it's a long name, who allowed the security agencies to incarcerate you. Now that you have come out, that the claim was making against you were false, what are you going to do? Are you going to take legal action against him, or you're just going to leave you off the hook? Thank you.
Please, let's ask only one question, please. It's very important. Okay, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Favor Nuno of BBC. So you want to know when we are collecting, the money that is owed to us in Dubai, the UAE. Just as I indicated in my statement, right after I won the case, the judges in the Dubai Superior Court ruled a case in my favor. The next thing would have been to do the necessary arrangements and or file the necessary applications and whatnot. Just so I can recover the money, and then still come back to the propositions that one of the propositions that we have, tabled for government, right to government, and then plead with them to find a way to unfreeze our account just so it can be transferred, because the invoice we furnished them, the account on it, is Menzgold, and Menzgold account has been so, but for the Interpol red notice, as soon as I left, the criminal, as soon as the first criminal proceeding was done, the Interpol red notice kicked in, so I was still under detention, so I couldn't do any of this. So now that I'm home, it's important that I show my customers and shareholders, patrons, and then the whole Ghanaians, the general public, respect, by briefing them as to what exactly transpired, from my perspective. And then thereafter, we will sit with the lawyers and then engage the Attorney General's office, so we can pursue, that amount. So we're hoping that would be done as soon as possible. However, that is not the only asset our company has. So that is not a do or die or make or break, you know. But so we would hold on to other assets that we have, you know, just so we'll be able to adequately meet our liabilities to our customers. So this is my position on that. So, and then you also asked as to whether the court gave timelines. No, there were no timelines attached. Then Mr. Arnold Mesa of Vibe in 5, right? A xylophone FM. You want to know as to whether Menzgold is a Ponzi scheme. Menzgold is not a Ponzi scheme. Let me seize this opportunity to shed light, more light, you know, on the operations. I'm sure this is in reference to the gold collectible trade and not our gold export and then our assaying and smelting and assaying. Now, the gold collectible trade was a platform that we created, our creation, and I mentioned innovation when I was speaking. So we own the proprietary, you know, to the gold trading platform. It's a platform that has a lot of, you know, buys, you know, so many buys, and then it has a lot of around the world, you know, and then it has a lot of sellers, which is the traders, which they are gold collectible, all right? So we only own the platform. It is our creation, you know, so we own the platform. So it is just like Accra Mall, for example. You have a product you want to sell. You do not have, you don't know where to find a seller. And so you go to Accra Mall and then you go and then apply for space just so you can bring your product then come and sell. So a customer owns his gold collectible, all right? Comes to Menzgold and says that I want to trade my gold collectible on your platform because the platform is ours. So we need to have royalties. We need to get paid. And this is why they pay us commissions. So they pay for commission, we accept, and then we give them receipts, narrating the transaction history on the receipt. Then we accept the gold, and then we sign a contract, and it is the contract that regulates our relationship. And in the contract states what should be done in case of breach, all right? After we put the gold, we subject the gold to our platform. All right, and then there is we have buyers on the platform. So the product that we have placed on our platform meets a buying lead. So somebody buys it. We make profit of having accepted the commission, which is the royalty. We also make profit on the customer's gold that they have placed on the platform. All right, and you know, gold, we have huge demand. So there is constant demand. So every week we are able to sell the customer's gold, all right, restock, and then come and sell again. But at the end of the month, because the contract says that we are supposed to be paying them returns at the end of the month, we only give them 1 out of the 4. And then the 3, because we are doing the trade, the 3 becomes, you know, our profit or our benefit. Let me say benefit or reward. You know, so this is what it is. It is not a Ponzi scheme, but it is just an innovative drive. You know, today's internet market is where the owners of platforms like Alibaba, like eBay, like Amazon and all owns a platform, and then they match selling lead to a buying lead, and then they make money. So it was just an innovative drive. It was just an innovation, something, our creation. And you know, people would contest what they do not know. Around the world, there is a huge debate as to whether ghosts exist or not. Because none of us have seen a ghost, there is a contest. A school of thought believes ghosts exist. A school of thought believes it does not exist. So naturally, human beings would contest what they do not know. But we do, because this is our proprietary. We have the technical expertise when it comes to gold. You might be a lawyer, and a good one for that matter, but that doesn't make you a good businessman. You can be a business professor, you know, in Harvard or Yale business school, all right? But when venture capitalists put money in your hands to go do business, that doesn't mean you can be a successful businessman. So we need to promote mutual respect. Okay, so this is what it is. This is my take on the gold collectible trade. If we all see things from different perspectives. My 4-year-old, all right, will not just conclude that an animal, is a duck by just watching the way it walks or the way it swims. My 4-year-old Penel will not do that, all right? We do not have to, draw assumptions and then conclusions based on, our mental dispositions and our primary and secondary socialization. We need to attack the fact, especially when our integrity, are on board. Today, the telcos in Ghana, they do mobile transfers, but originally they were given a license to do telecommunication business. You get it? Today the real estate industry is not regularized, but tomorrow it would be. So at every given time in human history, innovation precedes regulation. So if we have gotten innovative, we are not opposed to regulation. We welcome regulation, but we expect fair regulation, in accordance with the rule of law. So Menzgold is not a Ponzi scheme. Thank you so much. SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission also gave us a directive that we should shut down the gold we should shut down the gold vote market, which is the trading platform that we have created, a platform that has the customers' gold, the selling prospect, with the buying leads that we are supposed to match just so we make the sales and then be able to pay the customers. The SEC asked us to shut that down and then still pay the customers. That is tantamount to telling the shops in Accra Mall, all right, to shut down, yet the shops there should be making sales. It doesn't add up, It is like going to a Mercedes-Benz. You go to a Mercedes-Benz shop, garage, and then you tell them you want a fleet of Mercedes-Benz for car rental business, but you want it on credit. So you do down payment, and then they give you 5 Mercedes-Benz to go and then run car rental business, just so every month you would come and then be servicing the debt. You take the cars, you start the business. Every month you pay, you service the debt. Then you receive a letter from Mercedes telling you that, or you receive a letter from, let's say, a car regulator telling you that stop renting the cars, yet keep paying the money to Mercedes-Benz. Well, I thought this was a demonstration of a certain deficit in the understanding of our exact, business. So we would go back and then furnish them with, more further and better particulars, just so the executives can probably, look at it, and if they think we can create an industry out of our gold collectible trade, they would forward, some draft, to the legislature, and possibly we can have a statute or an act, and then it becomes an industry which will promote and advance the cause of our economic prospect. Thank you. Okay, Nana Poku of Daily Searchlight. You asked that we show a copy of. I think my last answer can also answer this, should be able to cater for this question. However, let me just give it a small shot. As of now, we own a Minerals Commission license that directs us to do 2 main things: to buy gold on one arm, on one leg, and then to export gold on another leg. So we hold a Minerals Commission license. That makes us a gold dealer, okay, a reputable one for that matter. However, we got innovative, with our gold, because we thought there is a huge market gap as to domestic consumption, and it is important that we satisfy, we do not have to be, and of course the government, keeps promoting that we need to do value addition, we need to add value to our produce, and then we can satisfy, domestic market. So we thought we can buy gold and then we can export gold, but we do not export all the gold. We still have some gold derivatives left. Why don't we do value addition to it and then put it up for sale so we can make profit? So it would interest you to note that we're buying gold 7.75 grams at, let's say, how much we're buying it then?
1,200.
1,200. And then we had the technology, all right, to be able to like process it and then made it to the finished product you see with the packaging and all that. So let's say cost price is, the manufacturing price is like 300 more. So that comes to 1,500. But we're selling one at 2,000. So we make profit of, the 500, out of which we pay our broker or retailer, which is Brew Marketing Consult, I think 3%. They take 3% on. So we pay them the 3%. So that 500 Ghana, we put it on the side. Okay, thank you.
Do one more. Okay. It's okay.
So we just, in short, just as I indicated in our statement, we sought to produce a word processor, out of a typewriter, or we sought to produce lemonade out of lemon. This is what we did. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's okay.
One more.
Okay.
He asked that those who caused your...
Yes, those who caused my, who filed that claim in Dubai, that filed claim in Dubai and it caused my detention. The lawyers are reviewing. Our Emirati lawyers are still reviewing, so I'm yet to get an advice. But I would definitely, press charges and then seek the necessary reparations. Thank you.
GTV, please, City. And then another point. Joy. Multi-TV, please, come forward. GTV, City and Multi-TV. Or Joy. Okay.
My name is Abdul Rahman from GTV. First, I'd like to know the... Okay. Sorry. All right. So I'd like to know the net worth of... my name is Abdul Rahman, GTV. Okay, I'd like to know the net worth of the company, what you have currently, or at best if you can tell me what you were having before the regulators started to hunt you. And secondly, in the last bit of your speech, you said you thanked the regulators for not sparing the rod, the government. Is that an admittance that Menzgold was doing the wrong thing and thereby the government stood up to correct it? Thank you.
Please, let's stick to the rules. One question, please. One. Okay.
My name is Hansen Ajaman. I work with City FM City Team. I guess your customers might not be that happy. Hansen Ajaman, City FM City Team. When there was a payment schedule, they didn't get their money. Now you are asking government to do certain things before you can pay them. When your lawyer wrote to the Attorney General, he was very clear that there was a need for, and that you had agreed, that government will be a trustee in that said document. Clarify if that is true or not. The customers have severally asked that there be a three-group committee, including government, Menzgold, and the customers. From what you've told us today, nothing really includes the customers. So how are you involving the customers in all this? And then finally, you clarify the fact that Menzgold is not a Ponzi scheme. There's also the conspiracy theory that some people are working to destroy you. From the facts available to you, how true or false is this?
One question, please.
Okay. My name is Maxwell. I work with Joy FM and Joy News. Joy News, I should say. Yes, sir. Yeah, Maxwell, yeah. Okay, I stepped out a little, so I'm not sure my question has been asked. But coming to this press conference, I think the theme for everybody was that we're going to hear clear timelines been given as in when customers of Menzgold should expect their deposits? I've had a lot of interactions with customers of the company, and some of them bedridden actually, who are hoping that you'll be released from the custody of the Dubai police and then the Ghana police subsequently, so that you'll be able to make payments. They are saying that until you're released, the monies are not going to come. Now you've been released. I'm sure a lot of them would want to hear clear timelines, as in expect it in November, expect it in December, expect it this year, January. When should they expect the money? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please stop the murmuring. Everybody has an opinion as a question. Please. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, sir. Please.
Brothers, thank you so much. My brother Abdurrahman of GTV, I'll take yours first. You want to know the net worth of Menzgold before and after. That's also an information that we cannot divulge, owing to the fact that we have civil and criminal proceedings. Okay, so but in due course, we really have to, you can trust and be rest assured that we would. The second one was government. Yeah, I said we thank the government for not sparing the rod and spoiling the child. Do you take that as an admission of guilt? No, that is not an admission of guilt. If it were, I'm sure the judiciary is also government, and this is, the judiciary is also government. So if there is an admission of guilt, I think the appropriate place to have done it would have been the Chamber of Justice, which was before the court of law. When I went before them, that's supposed to pull your legs. But it's not an admission of guilt. But the point here is that every human being is fallible. Maybe we have, from where they sit, maybe there were certain omissions and commissions that we, are not privy to, which necessitated certain actions and inactions that they took. So no matter, what we do, there are fathers and there are mothers in the hem of affairs. And so therefore, we are still subject to them. And so yes, in as much as it is not admission of guilt, we still thank them, and if you like, I would reiterate it. We thank them for, pruning us, and making us refined and the best that we can possibly be. Then my brother Hansen from CTFM. Yes, you want to know as to whether it is true or false that we have agreed with government for them to be a trustee to the pending amounts that we need to recoup from Dubai. It is not the case, okay, except that the letter that you referred us to was, just like I'm doing right now, was a proposition, was a proposal, a suggestion, more or less, that Kwame, our very capable lawyer, in conjunction with all the international, lawyers, did to the Ghanaian government. So I'm sure they are still, and today I've also added my voice to it. So I'm sure they are still reviewing, and in due course, just as I said, we would engage the AG's office. Once we're set, they will let us know, what they can do and what they cannot do. But what is certain is that we'll definitely, find solution to this pending teasing matter. Thank you. Then you talked about customer committee. I thought when I was speaking just a moment ago, I said we will do broad consultation. We engage customers' leadership. In fact, even the schedule, we would have to build consensus. So customers would would be at the center, at the heart, when we get to that point. Then the conspiracy theory as to people wanting to destroy me, as to whether it is true or false. Well, what I know is that everybody wants to catch the star, in the sky. Everybody wants to, have the better things and of this world. So life in itself is a struggle. My mother tells me all the time, like growing up, that life is war, and especially when you're a man. And so therefore, I will not, disregard and sit here and see everybody in the whole world wants to wishes me well. However, I think having come this far, all things work together for good, to those that love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. And whatever happens in this life, if God doesn't permit it, it doesn't happen. And so in all things, I give glory to God. I pray that if, certain persons or elements, whether local or international, are working and conspiring for my fall, I pray they repent and accept Jesus Christ. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The last one of our question.
Sorry. Maxwell, my brother Maxwell from Joy News. The timelines. I think this is tied to the fact that we cannot access money. We just can't access money. We can't, do without the bank account. Especially when we have money laundering allegations. So once that is done, once we engage government, whatever decision they take, and we would also get to the customers' leadership, and then we would all judge, and then do consensus building, then agree on timelines that would be of mutual benefit. So we'll definitely, publish the timelines, but we would need you to be just a little bit patient. My brother Maxwell, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll do that. Please, the last round of questions. Billy Graphic. Billy Graphic. Please come. Billy Graphic, Ghana Web, and then Class TV. Class FM, please.
My name is Stephen Kenneth Nakuja from Pending TV, GhanaPublicEye.com. Please, I want to ask, Stephen Kenneth Nakuja from Pending TV, Ghana Public Eye. Please, I want to ask whether Nam1 has regretted investing in our music industry or entertainment industry. I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right, Nana, my name. So, end of the day, you, Lord, it was with Ghana Web. So, earlier there was, for want of a better word, a cryptic message on your Twitter timeline, which suggested that, there was an alligator or crocodile attacking a wildebeest, and the other wildebeest were just looking on. Would you say that industry players hang it out to dry? And also, what's the meaning of Oran Battalion?
Good afternoon. My name is Awad Said from Hot FM. I want to know the step taken in order to unfreeze your account and the asset. The step taken in to unfreeze the account and the asset. Awad Said from Hot FM. Yeah.
Last one. Yes, please, Samuel.
Okay, My name is Joy Wonder from Shine Publications. We'd like to know basically what is your message for the young people out there who see xylophone or who saw xylophone as the only avenue for them to begin their entertainment careers?
Okay, let me quickly add, I haven't called any lady, so please I'll add her to the last round of questions.
Okay, my name is Bodo Abigail from Metro TV, and I would like to find out what is the next step for Menzgold if all is settled, and if you are going to reinvent the company or you are going to close the chapter for it.
Thank you. Please, when he's done with the answering or the response, he will then do a bridge of all the things that have been said in Chi for our Chi listeners, and then and the customers as well. Okay, and the customers as well. So please, over to you.
Okay, my brother Stephen.
Pendrin Media.
Pendrin Media. You want to know as to whether I have regretted in investing in the entertainment industry. I have not. I cannot. It was a business decision. And, you know, we believe, I do not believe, or I do not do businesses that, you know, you start today and then you reap tomorrow. I am, with respect, and not to sound boastful, like a generational, you know, sort of. So everything you have seen with xylophone, every step, everything, but for the freeze and then the unfortunate issues in the last few months that's before us, every other thing is calculated, and it is to achieve a certain positive effect. So we are hopeful, and just as I indicated in my speech, hopefully soon in the future you will see a vibrant digital xylophone media that would have global, effect. Thank you. Then Lord from Ghana Web, you want to know as to what is the meaning. You want to know as to whether I've regretted with the industry. I think I just answered that. So I would go to the second question. You also want to know the meaning of aurum utalium. Okay. Aurum utalium is gold, is referred to gold dory bar. Okay? When we say gold dory bar, gold that is not 100%, that hasn't got 100% aurum. Okay, aurum is gold, pure gold. That is 24 karat gold, which is 99.99999. Now, so when you say aurum utalium, what it means is that it is gold of a certain percentage purity or carat, and then a foreign matter. And that foreign matter could be silver, it could be copper, it could be, any of the metals. Now, we sign a contract, okay, with people that we do business with, and then we say we are selling aurum, the commodity description or the commodity specification is aurum utalium. The percentage purity is 92%. And then the carat is 22 carat plus. All right? And then somebody says, put respectfully their ignorance on display. Read Google, which is not, okay, it's somebody's company, so read information from somewhere which is not gospel, okay, and then makes a huge fuss or propaganda out of it. It is unfair. Now, today, Snap is somebody's brand, okay, and it is, the inspiration was taken from Snapchat. Today, snap has been incorporated into the English dictionary. Previously, snap was not, all right? But following Snapchat. So now, in the place of video me, everybody says snap me. Now, today, in the absence of send me a message, we say WhatsApp me. You know, language is organic. And every language, every word was once just a jargon. So when it comes to my field of trade, in our local parlance, there's this joke, say, Obi anyine jumo brofo. Enti ne say ontia, also bisa, onyima, also bisa. Now in the gold dealership, you know, let's say industry, the world over, if anybody wants to describe gold doriba, they say it's aurum utalium. Now, I cited a text that says that it is a word that is often used by, it says what? Aurum utalium is so often used by criminals. Now, let's pay attention to so often. Okay, I believe this is English, everyday English. So and I'm sure you, the media, even understand it better than some of us do. Aurum utalium is so often used by criminals who distribute fake good. Now, so often, when we say something is so often used by somebody, what it means is that some persons uses it, but this person uses it more. So it doesn't mean it is flawed or it is fake. Now, it goes on to say that fake good who offer 1,000 kilograms of gold. Now, no gold dealer would say 1,000, no proper gold dealer or a better intellectual text on gold, all right, will say 1,000 kilos. The SI unit for gold is in kilograms, ounces, grams, and then kilos, and then tons. So, if this is an authoritative academic or intellectual text, all right, it would have been offers 1 ton, you know, and not 1,000 kilograms. Sometimes 5,000 kilograms. They wouldn't have written, but they would have written 5 tons. So I see this is coming from somebody that has been a victim of the 90% or 99% gold fraud around the world. That I, you know, have been a victim. That I've been detained for, you know, what's it called? 8 months in Dubai for no wrongdoing. Okay, and then it goes on to say the abbreviation AU means aurum, all right, and nothing else. There is no such word in Latin, and there never was a Latin word for aurum. So I ask you, prior to the incorporating of a word like snap into the English dictionary, was there a word like snap? Today we say, and not just snap, there are several other, you know, with time we can do the research and then bring it to the fore. There are so many words that weren't, but today they are. And this is language. So disregard, you know, the misconception, dispel it. It is just something that was orchestrated by certain persons who do not have, you know, the fact. Thank you. The second question was from Awar, my brother Awar from Hot FM. You want to know steps we are taking to unfreeze our assets. The first step is what I have done, appealing to the authorities, because we believe in diplomacy. All right? Law, yes, is the cement of society. That is what holds society compact. However, laws are made for men and not the other way around. So we believe, you know, appealing to government or those in authority first, you know, going on our knees and saying, making a good case as to why XYZ should be done is more appropriate than lock and hunt. But in the court of law, however, because when two elephants fight, it is the grass and then those that, you know, are beneath it that surface. So this is the first step, first humble call. We have appealed. We would go and then further, you know, appeal some more. If for some reason, if the decision is not favorable and we disagree, we would express our disagreement by filing an application resulting to the court of law to seek the appropriate redress. So that's my take on that.
Jerry Wonder.
Then Jerry Wonder. Those who believe in xylophone media and then wants to pursue a career, where dreaming of pursuing a career with xylophone media, I have news for you. Your aspirations, your visions, and then your desires are not your hopes are not dashed. There would be a better xylophone media tomorrow, but first, we want to cater for our cherished, customers, and then we will revamp xylophone media. And you are welcome because we operate an open door system, so you're always welcome. We would love to partner, to work, and then to grow with you. Thank you.
Finally,
we have one from
to support the end.
Metro TV.
Then we have Bodo, right? My sister from Metro TV. What is the next step for Menzgold Ghana? Is it going to be a thing of the past? No, it is not. But this is why it is part of, the proposals or the propositions that we're making to government. There has been a huge contention. We say we have a license, and then we think we belong to the school of thought that believes that we have a license, we just got innovative. It is a gray area. It probably has a semblance of securities, but it is not. What looks like a tree or what looks like a duck, it is not a duck. It is probably a seahorse or an ostrich, So we want them to kindly, direct us to the appropriate quarters, if any, appropriate state agent or agency. We are not opposed to supervision at all. In fact, the only way to stay in your track and then not to lose focus is to be supervised, is to be regulated. All right, we want to grow. We want to build a business that will surpass our generation. We want to build a business that would improve the economic prospects of this country. We want to build a business that would take Africa to the world. We want to build a business that, would change Africa's narrative. It's been 3 decades since the advent of the internet from intranet. Africa really today, when I came back, I have seen some great, internet businesses. I think I saw Drop-In. I commend you guys. You are doing a good job. I think the Drop-In is an answer to, the great Silicon Valley's Uber. And then I've seen another one. I don't want to publicize them. We'll throw our weight behind the Ghanaian one, which is the Drop-In. That's a fantastic, job some young guys like ourselves have done. So we'll throw our weight behind them and then push them to succeed. It's been 3 decades, 30 years. Amazon and all these companies, Uber, eBay, they started from the advent of the internet, from 1990s, 92, 93, thereabout, when there was the internet booming, California, the great Silicon Valley. Today, the Silicon Valley has become a domain, for internet businesses. And then all around the world, we pay tribute to America through these businesses. So people are in South Africa. Today we have Uber here in Ghana. Uber is far away in, Silicon Valley. Yahoo, Google, all those businesses are there. Now we use them here, and then we pay for their services. And all that goes to America, and that makes America great. Don't get me wrong, I love America, but it is important that we also take the bull by the horn. If we want to, indeed, create a new African story. If we want to be respected, want to be accorded with respect, we want to be accorded, with dignity, it is important that we invest in the difficult task of creating new things. It is usually very cumbersome to do it. It comes with a cost, a lot of falling and getting up, but it is not impossible. It is a road that is leading to prosperity, and that is exactly what Africa needs, just so we can clinch or, win ourselves away from the clutches of poverty. So we will pursue, and then we would, with God on our side, I know we will succeed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think he deserves a round of applause. That's the end of the question, so I will ask him to just, for the three listeners, UTV has been on my neck, kindly summarize everything you said in three, and then we are good to go. Please, sir.
Meboa Nana.
Okay.
Mejiri se ensemble brena yakano de ehu hia a eyekese ma yenianom especially.
So that's the end of Nana Menzgold's address to the public, answering questions from pressmen and basically, making some demands of government. Quite an interesting moment, I must say, listening to him and all the questions he's been responding to. Head of our investigative desk, Malik Abbas Dabu, is still here with me, but quickly we'll just wrap up and summarize all that we've heard from Nana Menzgold.
We've heard quite a lot from him, a large chunk of it detailing what has happened to him, the way forward, paying tribute, glowing tribute, that is, to customers of Menzgold, and assuring them that if certain steps are taken, his company would be able to pay them back their deposits and then get back into business. Let's look at the three important things that he thinks must be done. If those things are done properly, then they will be able to raise the money to help them receive their monies. The first one he's talking about is assisting to make full recovery of money owed Menzgold by a Dubai company called Royal Horizon. He says the Royal Horizon, they sold more than 750 kilograms of gold to this company. It is this company that made fictitious claims against him, which claims led to his arrest and detention in that country, and subsequently he won that case. His company is owed, that Menzgold that is owed $39 million on account of that transaction. That $39 million, Bernice, if we were to convert it to Ghana cedis, looking at 5.05 per dollar, you're looking at $212 million. 212 million Ghana cedis. This is the amount of money that this Dubai company is owing the Menzgold company. It is this amount that he thinks that the Attorney General, together with the government generally, using diplomatic means, can help his company to recover. If that money is recovered, it would help them pay. Another thing he wants happen is the unfreezing of Menzgold accounts in Ghana and his personal account as well. He believes that given that these are the same accounts that he used to do these kinds of business transactions, if the company accounts are defrozen, he would be able to assess what amount of money they have and how they can get money back into those accounts so that they can use them to settle these companies. And the last point he wants government to deal with is what institution is going to be mandated to regulate his gold derivative business, the gold collective business, which he calls an innovative business, which there is currently no regulator regulating it, because he argues forcefully that it is not deposit taking, which would have brought it under the ambit of the Bank of Ghana as a regulator. It is neither trading, which would have brought it under the ambit of the Securities and Exchanges Commission. He wants the government or the state to clearly spell out which institution has a mandate to regulate his kind of innovative business. If those things are done, he believes, they'll be able to raise the money and they'll be able to pay the companies, the individuals who deposited their money or did transactions with him.
Thank you very much, Malik, for being here while we do this. But a lot more will be happening here on the Joy News channel. A lot of points, especially he doesn't want to commit himself with numbers, how many clients are owed, how much he owes them, because he says this is still in court and I don't want to arm my prosecutors or those who have taken me to court with any information they can use against me.
Because
so he's holding on to that.
Figures. He has figures which are at variance with what prosecution has brought to court. But one other fundamental point about his jumping bail when he went to Dubai.
Exactly.
There was this claim by the police that the IOCO, the Economic and Organized Crimes Office in Ghana here,
was not aware,
had granted him bail and that he jumped bail. He says that can't be correct, because the day before he left, he went to IOCO, signed papers and informed them that he was leaving the jurisdiction, that the claim that he jumped bail cannot be supported.
In fact, in responding to that question, I remember very well that he was quite hesitant. He didn't want to divulge a lot of information there. But there sure will be a lot more analysis here on the Joy News channel. Nana Mensah, CEO of Menzgold, has finally spoken. A lot to dissect, a lot to analyze. Do stay with us here on the Joy News channel. But for now, from myself and Malik, it's goodbye. We hand you over to Emmanuel Abuajiriafe on the marketplace. Thanks for your company.